If you're struggling to pass NASM, you're going to watch this video. You got two options. You can do it for free, or you can go for 39 bucks. I'm explaining both of them for you. Most of you came across NASM by typing into the Google machine how to become a trainer. You didn't come across my book, you didn't come across Show Up Fitness CPT, but that's okay. You're stuck with this. You can't get a refund. So if you do it yourself, you have 180 days to pass this. A textbook, 800 pages. You can study by yourself. 35% fail. 55% don't even take the exam. What they're going to be doing is when you're struggling, you usually get to about chapter 7, you're like, this is frustrating. What do I do? Type into Google or YouTube how to pass it. You're going to come across some random YouTube, some guys and girls that don't even work out telling you how to pass this. Got some Quizlet stuff, overwhelming quizzes from the NASM website, and you're confused. So you study all of this stuff. Then 180 days go by and you have to pay $100 to get more time. If you want to do it this way, that's up to you. My suggestion is pass it as quickly as you can. And here's why. A textbook does not make a personal trainer. If you want to become a successful personal trainer, you got to read the book. With over 20 years of experience, I've helped thousands of people pass NASM, ACE, ISSA, NSCA, but you need hands-on learning. 90% quit within the first year because they don't have that. They have imposter syndrome. They're afraid of sales. They don't know how to program. Those are all things that we help you with. And that's why I want you to get this book. It's 39 bucks. There's an entire chapter in there that's dedicated to helping you pass this as quickly as you can. I know you're thinking 14 days, that's too quick. I'm not going to be ready. Versus the other side, you waste 6 months studying and it's the same scenario. But over here, you're going to pass. Over there, flip of a coin. So the first thing you want to do is get the book ordered on Amazon, and I guarantee you're going to have so much stress taken off your back. The Belt Buckle Trainer and our team is going to help you pass this. You get through it so you can level up to become a qualified trainer. Second thing you're going to do is listen to the podcast. This is free. Leave a 5-star review. You're going to get the cheat sheet. Study the cheat sheet. It's Cliff Notes. You're going to focus on the main topics. Watch our YouTube on planes of motion, understanding sagittal, frontal, transverse, the technical definition, exercises that are in each. When you do a bicep curl, it's sagittal. When you do a military press, it's frontal. When you do a lunge, it's sagittal. When you do a chest fly, it's transverse. Knowing the planes of motion, the agonist, synergist, stabilizers, and antagonists, all reviewed in that YouTube. Number 4, review the over and underactive chart we have on our blog, which is free. You need to master those muscles. If I say VMO, you need to automatically think underactive. If I say vastus lateralis, overactive. Glutes, underactive. Anterior tibialis, underactive. Adductor group, overactive. Latissimus dorsi, overactive. You need to be able to answer it like that. The test will be so much easier because the majority of it's going to be based off the overhead squat assessment and recognizing over and under. Remember, if you don't foam roll and stretch, you will die. I guarantee you're going to enjoy the book, so you leave a 5-star review. We're going to send you our study guide. That's a $99 value for free. This is over 70 pages reviewing the main topics that you must master to pass this. The next day, I'm going to send you the quizzes, which are going to be over 100 questions, best preparing you for what to focus on. I'm not giving you thousands of random questions that are not going to be on the exam that are really going to question your self-worth if you're going to be able to pass this. This focuses on exactly what you need to pass it as soon as possible. Day 8, get into the OPT model. Optimal performance training. You have to master stabilization, get into strength with phase 2, 3, and 4. Which ones are supersets? What is a superset in phase 2 versus phase 5, which is power? Master the acute variables, the rest, the reps, intensity. What is the tempo? What percent are you going to be training in? What are the exercises? When you do a prone iso ab, where does that go in the OPT model? When you do a reverse crunch, where does that go? Bench press, TRX row. You need to know the agonists, synergists, stabilizers, and antagonists, all things that we cover, but also where does it go within the OPT model? That's on our blog. That is also for free. Number 9, Miss Megan. She's the angel. I'm the devil. Y'all hate me. I'm a personality on YouTube. I get it. But Megan has tons of videos on YouTube, which you can watch for free. She's a lot less annoying than I am. She's a sweetheart, but she's very, very knowledgeable. The first trainer I've ever met to charge $500 for a personal training session. She is sharp, and that's why she's our director of personal training. She may be missing 3 ACLs, but she's one of the best trainers I've met in my entire life. Day 10, get back into the OPT model, but this time listen to the podcast. Hear it, see it. You should be practicing it, and that's what we encourage with our in-person. In 2 months, you will learn more than any textbook out there. We're in Atlanta, we're in Santa Monica, but we also have 2-day seminars with our partnership with Lifetime. Equinox and Lifetime, they prefer Show Up Fitness CPTs. That's why we have partnerships with them, and we have a fast track getting higher there so you can become one of the best trainers in the world, making significantly more than $100,000. You can't get that when you're working at LA Fitness or Orange Theory. You can when you get your Show Up Fitness CPT. So you need to really, really master the podcast and the blogs. Day 11, get back into the study guide. Review it at least once per day, and then on top of it, on day 11, review it twice per day. Day 12, master the quizzes. What muscle is posterior to the femur, the rectus femoris, the soleus, latissimus dorsi, or the semimembranosus? In the book, I break down anatomy, helping you making the test significantly easier. What is the femur? It's the largest bone in the human body. Anteriorly, you're going to have the rectus femoris. Posteriorly, you're going to have the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and biceps femoris. You don't need to know the actions. You just need to know if it's overactive or underactive, all things that we're going to teach you. And I give you a ton of questions within the book with flashcards to help you pass as quickly as you can. Day 13, I have a call where I review with a student on how to pass. I go through OPT model, the acute variables. We talk a little bit about nutrition, SAQ, plyometrics, hard anatomy. The main meat and potatoes, I quiz this individual, and you can see how confidently he's able to answer the questions. I don't put a quiz question up there. I ask him, what are the superior chambers of the heart? And he answers atriums. What's the pacemaker of the heart? SA node. If your client was doing the overhead squat assessment and their arms fall forward, which of the following muscles is overactive? He tells me latissimus dorsi. What do we do? What muscles are we going to strengthen? What would be an appropriate exercise for stabilization to strengthen with a 4-2-1-1 tempo? What does 4 mean? What does 1 mean? How would that change if you moved into muscular development phase 3, which is the worst one, but you got to memorize that. Resting 30 seconds for hypertrophy. You think I got that arm farm for resting from 30 seconds? No, you need to rest longer, but you got to put your NASM hat on in order to pass the test. That's exactly what I help you focus on so you can see the right answer, move on, and focus on supervised experience, which leads into day 14, a live call. Every Thursday, we have a team of NASM individuals. They don't work for NASM. We have no affiliation. We don't cheat. We don't steal information. I taught this stuff for over 10 years at a school called NPTI. This is super easy to pass when you focus on it. I'm like the TA. When you're over here on the other side, you're going to the professor and you're asking them, how do I pass the exam? And the professor's going to say, study the entire book. All 800 pages, you got to master this stuff to become a trainer, which is false. It may help as the TA. What I'm going to tell you is focus on these points. Master this, master that. Don't worry about that. You're not going to be quizzed on it. Focus, 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 and you will pass. When you get into the live calls, you can ask questions, and these ladies are going to help you because their personalities are sweet and they're not a dick like I am. I have one goal and one goal only, for you to pass this as quickly as you can. Because when you do, you can then see that, what do I do next? And that's where we come in. With our certification, you're going to level up to become a qualified personal trainer. And if you really want to double down, we have a guaranteed for life, $599. You already wasted over $1,000 over here. With this deal right here, we're going to include our certification. That's going to get you fast-tracked, hired at Equinox and Lifetime. You're going to start building a book of business and becoming a qualified personal trainer. We will help you pass NASM, guarantee it. If you were to fail, we will repay for it if you want to, and then you can move into getting supervised experience, which is hands down the most important thing that you need. When you really think about it for a second, our profession is a personal trainer. We are qualified individuals. This is a profession. Anyone that tells you otherwise, they've not been doing it properly for the duration that we have. We make trainers level up with their anatomy, programming, master sales, because when you're confident in your material and you are competent, you master the 17 muscles around the shoulder, 20 of the lower body. You can look at the 8 core movement patterns and program on the spot. You don't need 10, 15 minutes. Our certification, we have the test-taking portion just to make sure you're competent in the physiology and anatomy, but then we also have a verbal portion, and that's how we're different than any other company out there. You have to verbalize anatomy, communicate, pronunciate, show us where it's at, be able to recognize the 8 core movement patterns and say the agonist and synergist, not answer a multiple choice question, and then design a program on the spot. And that gives you the confidence to be able to articulate that during a session with an actual person. When you do a mock interview with a manager, you're going to be able to kill that interview and they're going to hire you on the spot so you can gain that experience that you need. So many trainers reach out to me and say, I'm going to pass this. and then I'm going to go out there and gain unsupervised experience. Could you imagine a doctor who goes through med school without any supervision now saying, I'm going to start looking for people to do surgery on? Would you go to them? No, you want the person who's been through the best internship, who has guided experience, and they're confident in their product, being able to assess, get their clients out of pain, and that's what we help you with at Show Up Fitness. This isn't a pitch for our certification. It kind of is, I get it, but you probably didn't hear about us. You heard about these other ones. The gold standard, ironically, NASM, ACE, ISA, they all call themselves the gold standard. But then when you take a step back and you look, you're reading a textbook. You need hands-on learning. If you want to turn your passion for fitness into a career, this is your best bet. You're going to pass this very, very quickly. This will be your second best bet. $39, leave a 5-star review. If you like it, if you don't, reach out to me. I will hop on a call. We can share a whiskey. I will help navigate through those ants, automatic negative thoughts, and I will help you pass this and become a successful personal trainer. And then you're going to read all the other stuff that's in there. How to build a book of business, how to optimize your sales, how to network with medical professionals, physical therapists and RDs, they should be on your team. The personal training industry is not saturated. It's saturated with textbook trainers who don't have supervised experience, they don't have internships and hands-on learning. When you go through a qualified program, you will become a qualified personal trainer, I guarantee it. It's all about showing up.